What's up, everybody? Hope everyone is well. Hope you enjoyed the last video. I know it was kind of a mess. I put way too many edits and features and tricks into it, but I just wanted to test my limits to see what I'm capable of doing. I already saw a few things in there that I would have done better had I known at the time. But for this old video, we're just going to stick to the old format of a microphone and a screen. Hopefully this is the last video with this garbage microphone. Anyway, so here are the items that I sold from January 12th to the 22nd. It's been kind of, I wouldn't say slow, but not as good as the first half of January. So, here we go. First item, Yankee Candle Easter Bunny and Chick's Large Jar Topper. A lot of Yankee Candle tart burners and candle holders and votive holders, things of that nature. There's a lot of retired ones that have a really good market. I've sold quite a few. The lighthouses, especially, people like the lighthouses. Funny story about this, I actually had, this is just the topper that I sold. I had the base as well. If you can see it in the back of this picture here. There was a base for the candle to sit in and then the jar topper. I sold this back in April, the whole set, and it was broken in transit. The bottom, one of the chicks got broken off. So I filed a claim because I packed it well. There was no reason it should have been broken. And I was paid back by the post office for $50 on this because I sold this set for $80. But the topper was still fine, so I sold that again. And it took a few months, but it sold finally. $36.44 was the asking price. I think it took a best offer of $32 plus shipping, or as Lonnie would say, plus shipping on top. I still made my $80, just 50 of it came from the post office. So, next item is, oh god, the vintage Michael Hoban USA flag leather jacket. This is possibly the worst buy I've made as a reseller. I bought this pretty early on when I started. Probably a month, 2 months into reselling. I paid $50 for this piece of crap. It was in really nice condition. Like, I don't think anyone ever wore it. It still had the hanger from where it was purchased. It was a perfect condition coat, but it's just hideous. I don't know what I was looking at as far as comps, but I way overpaid for this. It took almost a year to sell with various prices. I've had it as high as $159. I've had it down to $89. Luckily, it was at $99 when someone decided to buy it, and yeah, so I got my money back and I still made a few dollars, luckily. But given the chance, would I buy another Michael Hoban jacket, even for like 10 bucks? Probably not. I mean, I ended up making pretty good money off of it, but when I was a new reseller and every dollar counted, having $50 sunk into this thing was depressing when it wasn't selling like I thought it would. But lesson learned, and we can move on. Next, Funko Pop. This is the GameStop exclusive Vegeta? I don't know how to say his name because I've never seen a single second of Dragon Ball Z. I'm aware of it, but I don't know anything about it. I know there's some Scion stuff and power levels of 9,000. Beyond that, you got me. But I do know that other people like it, so I saw this in the case at Goodwill for $5.99, looked it up, and I was shocked. It was, you know, comping between $40, $80, $90. So, auctions seem to be bringing in the mid-50s, so I was comfortable selling it for around $50. Had a whole bunch of offers, and I think I finally took one at $50, $55. So, $55 plus shipping. That one global shipping program. I don't know where it's going, but it ain't here anymore. That's all that matters. Next item is a vintage Skip It. Whoever would have thought this still had some value? I mean, I get it's a nostalgic toy. You know, all the kids on my block had a Skip It when we were growing up. But a nostalgic toy to the fact that the comps, a broken one, when I saw this, had sold for $50. The counter didn't work anymore. When I listed this, I had the only one that was an actual 1988 pink Tiger. There's other Skippets, but they're off-brands and they're newer. So I had a whole bunch of watchers, whole bunch of $40, $45 offers. The broken one got 50. I knew I could get at least 50. Finally ended up taking a best offer on this. $50 plus shipping. Paid $2.99 for it, I think. Next, Patriots half-zip pullover. I'm sure we know why this finally sold. I had this sitting around since the summer. I thought it was nice. The black on black, I think, like the blackout sells, but this weird off-brand of Prestige, it's a subsidiary of Reebok. I don't think that was as desirable, but now that they're Super Bowl bound, what do you know? It sold. Took a best offer, $38.85. What a reasonable offer on a $48.44. How about $38.85? I'll take it, plus shipping. Next item, the body blade. Another thing I stumbled on. It was sitting by baseball bats and golf clubs, and I saw it there. And the thing that caught my eye was that it had a poster attached to it. I was like, oh, body blade. That can't be worth anything. Comps were, up and down of $65. I figured middle of the road, $64, $44. I'd get something out of it. If I had had the DVD that goes with it, I probably could have got $80. That's about what they looked like. But I put mine up for $64.44. Poster was in good condition. And took a best offer, $50 plus shipping. And funny enough, a gentleman named Joe Pesci bought my body blade. I'm going to believe that it's the actor Joe Pesci. I'm sure that it's not, but that's just how I'll always remember this sale, because I sold the body blade to Joe Pesci. Next, oh, this thing, Chubbles. Does anyone remember the Chubbles dolls? They make these awful sounds, and their eyes light up when you put flashlights on them or hold them up to lamps. They're from the 80s. I remember my sister had one, and the thing would go off at night and make these god-awful sounds like something was being murdered, and I hated it. But this one was it looked like it was just made yesterday. That box was completely dirt-free. Well, one little scuff on the side. I think it's in this picture here. Yeah, there's one tiny little scuff in the box. I paid $5. I couldn't believe the comps. There were two others listed at the time for $99 plus shipping. I figured I'll undercut them a little bit, and I bet you mine will move pretty fast. Fast isn't even the word. I listed this thing at 12:30 at night. I went to bed. It was sold by the next morning. When I checked the PayPal timestamp, it sold at 2:30 in the morning. So this thing didn't even last a full 3 hours online before someone snatched it up. So I paid $5. They paid full price, $89.44, plus expedited shipping on top. Next item. Nothing special. TI-84 Plus Silver. It was in good condition. The cover fit kind of loose. It was missing some feet on the cover, but other than that, everything worked on it. It's one of the few things I'll do free shipping on. Everyone knows about the TI-84s, so yeah, good sale. Paid $4.99 at Goodwill. It was hidden under a printer. Next, some blank media. I was tired of looking at it. Like any reseller, I hoard blank media, but I stopped picking up a lot of cassette recorders that I used to pair these with, so they were just taking up space. I grabbed up as many of the Sony and TDK as I had, lotted them up. $49.44. Took a best offer of $40 plus shipping. That's going GSP. Poland, I think, because I even got a message from the buyer. He wants me to hold this till February, so I guess we're going to hold on to this till February. Get to hang out with my blank media a little bit longer before I say goodbye to it. And as far as paying, I mean, I don't know. You know what these go, 50 cents, 79 cents. It's always priced differently. So I have no idea how much money is actually into this, but I just wanted to get my money back at the least. Next item is it's a book. This came out fresh on the cart. The cover looked interesting to me. I mean, it's just Peter Pan, but it just looked nice. It looked appealing. Then I picked it up, and I saw Whitman down here, and I was like, oh yeah, you know, Whitman, that's a good brand. A lot of nostalgia behind Whitman. So I started looking it up and I couldn't find it. And I was, oh, that's kind of weird. You'd think like even if it sold for $3, you'd find one somewhere. But then I started looking a little harder. I kept seeing this book. I was like, oh, dummy, take the dust jacket off and see what the book looks like. And sure enough, it was the same book. So the same book had sold for pretty good money. I don't remember what the exact comps were. I'll put it up on the screen here. I had the dust jacket, so alright, well, I got a book that's sold, but mine's better even though it's in pretty bad condition. So I'll shoot for the moon. I put it up for $59.44, because why not? Put it up for $59.44. I had a watcher pretty immediately, and within a week I had an offer of $35, and I couldn't hit accept fast enough because could I have held out for $59? Maybe. I don't know. Should I have been happy to get $35? Yeah, I should be ecstatic, and I was, so I took it, because God knows if another offer ever would have came through again. So, just another one of those weird pickups that it was a lottery ticket, and it paid off. So, yeah, $1 invested, 35 made on a book. And when I say this thing was in bad condition, I mean, it was pretty crispy. I disclosed all that in the description, but I mean it was an old, brittle, beat up book. Some of the pages were colored in. Still got $35 for it plus shipping. Next item, Sony Handycam DCR DVD 308 mini DVD recorder. This was in a box in the case for $9.99. All I saw was the DVD RWs. I was like, oh, the rewritable discs, that'll give me my $9.99. But this was all hidden in a Crown microphone box, which the comps on that were like $190. So I didn't think that there was a camcorder in there, even though I should have because the rewritables were in there. So took it out of the case, opened it up, looked, and was like, it's not what I wanted it to be, but it's still something. So I took it anyway. Asking price of $49.44, and that's what I got. $49.44 plus shipping. And it sold in about a week. Next item, the Royal Doulton Jack Russell Terrier Figurine, retired. I guess they retired them. I don't know. I paid $1. I looked at the comps, and the comps were pretty strong. Seemed like I could get anywhere from $29 to $50 for it. I had it up for $49 for a long time, and no bites. Lowered it to $43. It's been sitting a couple months at $43. And then the other night, somebody in Hawaii offered me $37 plus shipping. So they have a Jack Russell Terrier en route to them, and I'm happy to be rid of it. But it was a good dollar spent. Next, this is what was holding up the video. I was hoping this was going to do better. I wanted to let this auction end before I posted the video so I could talk about these a little bit. But the auction didn't do as well as I thought it would. Other auctions had multiple bidders, and I only had one, and they haven't paid, and it's been almost 4 days, so I don't think they're going to pay. They got 0 feedback, and they created the account the week that this was up, so I think it was a case of nostalgia, and now that the money is due, the nostalgia is worn off. But that's good. I'm happy. I'll be glad to file the case, because I think if I just put these at a buy it now, I can still probably pull $75 to $80, which is unbelievable. When I picked these up at St. Vincent de Paul, they were on a shelf in like the frame area, someplace they had no business being, and they were 49 cents. I just looked at them and was like, well, Whitman again, because God bless Whitman. People want Whitman everything. I looked up the comps and I screamed out like, holy shit, like in the middle of St. Vincent de Paul. People were staring at me like I was an asshole. Because I couldn't believe that they were selling for like $50 to $80 for a deck of old maid cards. But these were They were in like pristine condition. I don't think anyone ever played with them. That's a terrible picture. No one ever touched these. No one played with them. Everything was there, 100% complete. I had 8 watchers when the auction ended, but it still only ended with one bid at $55. So hopefully you'll see this in another video sold for the $75 that I'd like to get for it. I'll put comps up over here because it's not even just Whitman. It's these old kids card games in general look very collectible, and I had no idea there was a market for that. So be on the lookout for those. Alright, and last, the clickbait. It's not really clickbait, but the item we all came to see, paid $4.99 for this Bose radio. It worked perfectly. It was clean. I got this at the family thrift, the Salvation Army family thrift. They had just put it on the shelf, and you can tell the shape of a Bose from 100 miles away. I saw the guy put it down. As soon as his back was like barely turned, I was already on it. I picked it up, plugged it in. It turned on, and I think that's why they priced it so low, because a Bose Wave radio without the remote, you're very limited to what you can do. You can turn it off and on. If it's on the radio, when you turn it on, you can hear the radio, but you can't change anything. So I wonder if they thought it was broken, or they just didn't know what it was or what to do with it. But I knew what it was. So $4.99, I took this boy home, started looking up prices for remotes. They were all over the place on eBay, and then I had this crazy idea of, why don't I just go to the Bose website and see if they have a remote, a replacement remote, and they sure did. So don't order your remotes on eBay for $19 to $29 when you can get one directly from Bose for like $14.95 shipped. So I ordered the remote, got the remote, tested all the functions, everything worked just fine. So now I'm into this thing for $20 and change. Put it up for $249.77. Had some watchers, sat for about a week and a half, and then I had a guy going back and forth with me. I think he settled at $180, and I told him $200 was the lowest I wanted to go right now, and he had one offer left. Then he sent me a message and said that he'd like to up his bid to $190. So I was like, all right, $190, that'll work. Or his last offer was $190, and I accepted it. $190 plus shipping. This went GSP. I think it went off to Canada, and that's why the messages were they were funny, because you could tell this English was not this gentleman's first language. But yeah, that's what I sold. I think that was about 15 sales, minus the old maid cards, but those will sell, just not this video, but I wanted to show them anyway. So that's it, 15 sales. I think I did pretty well in the last however many days that is, the 12th through the 22nd. The GoPro, or the Faux Pro, because it's a DB Power action cam. My Faux Pro came in the mail today, so once I get an SD card tomorrow, that'll be up and running. Take you guys on some thrift hauls and show you what I do in a day as far as my life as a reseller. And I'm excited about it. I hope all of you watching, I hope you're excited too, because I'm an exciting guy. And hopefully I can get rid of this garbage mic soon, so you guys can actually hear some audio that sounds like it was produced in 2019 and not the 70s. So until next time, this is KPT, and I'm out.